everyone, it's Greg here to do your astrology forecast for the week starting the 14th of April and going through until the 20th of April. There's a couple of things I want to highlight and have a look at and just give you an idea of really what's happening this week. Starting with Monday the 14th, the moon enters the third house and it goes into Libra. It was in Libra in the second house the day before, but it goes into this house now and it conjuncts Mars. It's 2 degrees away from Mars. And what that really means is that obviously it's getting ready for the eclipse, so it's getting very full. And whenever the moon gets full, it's about a completion and a kind of outpouring of that energy. And because it's in Libra, it means there's going to be a sense of harmony. But because Mars is really mixing in with that, there's going to be quite a forceful sense of wanting things a certain way, wanting harmony. Whenever anyone gets that kind of forceful about harmony, it's kind of a recipe for things not going so well. Just be aware of that a little bit. And then obviously on the next day, the big event, the 15th of April, is the lunar eclipse, the blood moon as some people are calling it, because the color is going to be red. And it starts at between 2 and 3 a.m. in American time, so I think Eastern time, or right. Anyway, the thing is, if you're in North or South America, it's going to be the best place to see it, because at that time, obviously middle of the night, you'll be able to actually see the moon. It's going to happen for 3 hours that this eclipse is occurring for. If you're in Europe, in Africa, or in Asia, it's not so good. It'll start to happen around 7 a.m. British summertime, so where we are, so the sun will already have kind of gone up then, and it'll be very difficult to see. So if you're in one of the Americas, that'll be the best place to look at this blood moon. But what this eclipse is really all about is it's occurring on the North Node, which means it's about drawing in energy. And because it's in Libra, it's drawing in a need and a desire for a real period of harmony and peace between peoples. And I've said this in the other video at length, so I don't want to cover the same ground again, but it's really the drawing in of a new period of harmony between humanity and people as a whole, and seeing the light in other people rather than focusing on the egos and negativity and things like that. So there's a definite shift occurring at this time. Let me know any kind of thoughts or experiences you have during this wonderful period. If you feel a shift within yourself, then please send me a comment. I'd be very interested to hear on how you've kind of experienced this time. Moving on, the 16th, the moon now goes into Scorpio in the 4th house, and it's very much about kind of feeling comfortable with your family and connecting in terms of the feelings that are going on there. So really expect by the middle of the week to be getting on with family a little bit better. There's been some conflict for a lot of people with parents, siblings, children, and it kind of eases off a little bit as a result of this eclipse. So just to kind of recap that, the 14th is forcefully wanting harmony and the usual fallout that results from forcefully forcing people to do things. Then the eclipse shifting gears a little bit and bringing in that need for everyone to experience a kind of good connection with other people. And now the day after the eclipse, that kind of easing and going into Scorpio and people connecting on an emotional level much more naturally. The other thing that's happening is that we've got this area here in the 8th house. We've got Chiron, Venus, and Neptune all really close together. Chiron and Venus are 4 degrees apart, and then Venus and Neptune are 5 degrees apart. And that whole area it creates a real dreamlike healing state in the subconscious, and it's almost like this period of the eclipse and now the moon going into Scorpio, it's creating a subconscious emotional filling and healing and almost flooding. So where there's been a kind of drought and where there's been lack is now being filled up via these astrological influences, and you're going to experience a much more kind of natural sense of ease and fullness. It's like the hole in the soul is now going to temporarily or hopefully permanently going to feel eased and much more I'm not expressing this very well, but there's going to be a sense of emotional completion which hasn't been there in the past. What's also interesting is that there's a grand trine between Jupiter and the moon and these signs here at the moment, and it's a grand trine in water, so there's going to be a real talent and a real ease for emotional wholeness, serenity, peace, and exploring the emotions and healing the emotions that occurs on this day. The 17th sees the moon moving into further into the 4th house, 23 degrees now, and actually conjuncting Saturn, which is 2 degrees away. And what that means is there's going to be real structure now happening in the emotional side of life. So where on the 16th you were healing certain things, a new foundation, a new solidity in terms of the emotions is coming about. 18th sees the moon going into Sagittarius in the 5th. Much real lifting and ease, much more fun coming in at this time of the week, the end of the week, a real desire to explore and have fun and really go out of yourself and just have a really good time and be passionate about things. And also a grand trine again, this time in fire, happening between the moon, the ascendant, and the midheaven, all in fire, the ascendant there being in Leo and the midheaven being in Aries. So this is a real shift again of energy. Now we're moving from this deep, watery, kind of intense emotional period into a real fun, vibrant, exciting time over the weekend, and really allowing you to feel very much at ease, having a good time and getting out of yourself and connecting with other people in a positive way. That continues on the 19th, the moon's still in that 5th house in Sagittarius, and then ending on Sunday the 20th, the week ending on a more serious note and kind of becoming more grounded, which is also reflected by the sun actually now entering the sign of Taurus and starting that new kind of new period that's going to be with you for the next 30 days. So Taurus being much more grounded, much more solid, much more focused on the physical reality, and it's that shift over the weekend that you're going to be aware of the real sense of fun and fire and excitement going into the more grounded everyday routine matters of Taurus and Capricorn there. So I hope you have a great week. I do want to have a look at the top 3 signs that are going to be affected this week, and I'm going to do that by choosing 3 tarot cards, and I'm using the Tarot Art Nouveau. Okay, the first card that I've got here is the World, and it's in reverse. Okay, and that's quite bright there, you can't see that. Okay, no, that's, I'll have to figure out how to do that without it being so glary. But the World in reverse really indicates that up until the eclipse, there's a real sense of being disconnected from the feelings and really being disconnected from a sense of completeness and from humanity as a species and feeling quite isolated. And I really sense that that's particularly relevant for Virgo there, for Sagittarius and for Leo. And these are the signs that are going to really sense the completion of that lunar eclipse and really see the most extreme change. The next card is the Hierophant, and that's in reverse as well. And it means the period of instability is now over. The period of feeling like an outsider or being locked away by yourself is over, and this is particularly going to be felt by Uranus. So the sign ruled by Uranus is Aquarius, so Aquarians, you're going to be feeling that a lot. Finally, the Tower in reverse, a new building of structure, a new creation, and the ultimate builders are the earth signs Capricorn, Taurus, and to some degree Virgo as well. You're going to really feel that new foundation, that new strength, that new solidity come in, particularly in family situations, but also in terms of connection to other people as a whole. So, you know, the public, humanity, the people in your country, on your continent. And it's a really interesting time, and it's quite significant because I was recently away on a retreat in Somerset and Glastonbury, and it's quite famous for being very new agey and being very open to ideas, you know, like the tarot and astrology and new age thought. And I was looking in one of the windows, and there was a poster about you know, UFOs making contact on the 15th, and then ships arriving on the 29th. And I thought that was really interesting because no one questioned that. And it's interesting that that's, you know, that people are able to put that out there, and people to make their own opinions. And the fact that I'm looking at this information and I'm saying that there's going to be a greater kind of connection between the humans on this planet, my inner skeptic is saying, well, you've got thousands of years of proof that that's not going to happen. What makes you think that? And what makes me think that is what I'm seeing in the astrology chart. So skeptic or no skeptic, I'm seeing that the astrological forces are really coming together to create this shift in perception. And I really trust that, because astrology and the influences are felt, can be felt, and do influence the people on this planet. And there you go. That's all I really want to say on that. So I hope you have a really wonderful week. Please let me have your views and opinions and kind of experiences during this week. It's really interesting, as I said, and I'll speak to you soon.